Safe Med exam, med math, dosage calculation, whatever your school calls it. Anybody in nursing school has to take this test every semester. So let's chat about some tips and tricks on what you can do so that you pass it the first time and you're not stressed out of your mind for that retake with all of that extra pressure. So at the school that I go to, in a junior level class, you have to get a 80%, and then in a senior level and above, or just a senior level, I guess, class, you have to get a 90%. It's typically 10 questions, and as you advance throughout the program, the questions get a little bit harder, of course. So with that, let's talk about some tips and tricks and things that I've done to pass my Safe Med exams on the first try. So the first thing was I spent a lot of time just making sure that I had an understanding of the questions, what they were asking, how to figure out the answers, and what the conversions were. So whatever you want to do, there are so many different ways that you can set up the different dosage calculation problems. As long as you're consistently getting the right answer, do whatever works for you and makes sense in your brain. What makes sense to me or the process in which I do it might be totally different than what works for you, and that's totally fine. Just find something that works and stick with it. I know a lot of people like the dimensional analysis method. I get confused writing out all of the steps. So do what works for you and hone in, and then make sure that you just know all of the conversions, because there's nothing worse than having all of the right work, but just not knowing the conversion and getting the question wrong. So spend some time making sure you know how many mLs is in a teaspoon, a tablespoon, a cup, how to convert pounds to kilograms, how to convert inches to centimeters, all of those things, because those are all things that you could have to do for one of the Safe Med exam questions. And then also just make sure you understand all of the weird little nuances. For instance, making sure that you know what like QID means, or TID, which is 4 times a day, 3 times a day, that you're fully reading the question to figure out if you're finding out how much they need for the full day and all 4 doses, or just what 1 dose is. For instance, gelatin counts as a liquid intake, so we're using the full. Ice counts as a half of whatever it is in intake. So if somebody eats 200 mLs of ice, then we add 100 for our intake and output. And then basically just sitting down, blocking off some time every week until you take that Safe Med exam to do 5 to 10 problems. A lot of professors have sample problems in the course. If they don't, you can find them very easily. I'm going to be posting some on my page just in case it's helpful for you, but making sure that you are just comfortable and you've seen all the different types of questions as far as med math goes, so that when you get to that exam, it's all familiar to you. And of course, you'll still have the jitters, but you will know exactly what to do. So I hope that helps. Drop any other tips you have down below. I do have a post up, or I'm going to be making a post if I haven't, with all those conversions in one place for you, just to make things easier if you are new and you're going to be memorizing all of those too.